Hey everybody. Okay, so I want to do an update. I'm pregnant. I am 15 weeks pregnant. 15 weeks in 1 day. And we're having another boy. So this will be our third boy. And we are going to name him Fletcher. We have a 6-year-old named Sebastian. We have our 3-year-old Kipton. And now we have another little boy who we're going to name Fletcher. We haven't decided on a middle name yet, but I personally like Fletcher Ryan. I think that sounds really cute. But anyway, so to the story of how we found out and how my pregnancy has been so far. We found out January the 29th, which is so funny because with Sebastian, my first, we found out January the 31st, which was my birthday. And so they're going to be, both their birthdays are going to be in October, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyways, so we found out January the 29th. So starting the beginning of January, I had started testing because I never had a period after my miscarriage in November. I had a miscarriage on November the 11th, I believe, and I had that bleeding for the week of my miscarriage, and then I never bled again. My husband started asking me around the beginning of January, why haven't you started your period? What's going on? What, baby? What's wrong? Kipton, let go of your brother. Let go. You babies be nice. Boys. And I'm getting another one. So he started asking me, so I started testing. I was probably taking one test, I think I took one test a week. I was taking the, what is it? The first response. Excuse me, sorry. I was taking the first response, never got any kind of positive whatsoever. And the week before I got my first positive, I took a first response and it was negative. So I thought, whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. I wasn't going to test anymore. But for some reason that Tuesday had rolled around and I was coming back into town from dropping my son off at school, and there's a Dollar General. So I was like, let me stop in. I'll just grab the cheap $1 tests. And so I get home, my husband's still home. He works a later shift, so he doesn't go until 11:30. So I went in there and I took the test, and I went in there and kind of sat there on the bed with him. And it was a little dark, and I was like, that kind of looks like there's a little line there. And so I'm like, look at this. I was like, does that look like a little faint line? And he was like, yeah, it kind of does. So, and after 10 minutes, we were like, that is a line. Like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. I was like, I just took a test last week. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we were really excited because we had the miscarriage and we wanted another baby. And I actually have the test. Let me go get it. Let me get the positive test. Sorry if you see clothes everywhere in the background. I've been catching up on laundry like a crazy mad person. Okay, I have 4 tests here. So I have them numbered too. Okay. Let's see. So this is the first test I took. That was my positive. It's very faint. And this is the second one I took. It's a little darker. And this is the third one that I took. And this is the fourth one that I took, which was about a week later. So very, very positive. And the reason I was taking so many is because I was making sure my hormones were rising. Because I did have a early miscarriage with my previous pregnancy, my third pregnancy. I was just about to turn 7 weeks. And my hormones were very, very low. So I wanted to kind of track it a little bit. And when I got the fourth positive, that was pretty dark, you know, I just like, you know, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I didn't worry about it. You know, I knew that they wouldn't be able to do anything if I had a miscarriage, so I just kind of didn't really think about it. I kind of really put it off. And I told my mother and my grandmother and my mother-in-law. That's the only people that we told. But we were really excited. What else? I don't know, what else is there? Symptoms, I guess. So I'm 15 weeks. Around maybe 6 weeks, I started getting the really, really sore boobs. They're not as sore anymore. Sometimes my 3-year-old will elbow me or lean up against them, and I'm like, you know, it hurts. But that was one. And I think around 8 weeks also the nausea hit. I never actually threw up, but I had constant, like, all day nausea. I didn't have that with my boys. My other 2 pregnancies, their pregnancies were very, very easy. The only thing is I ate all the time and gained a ton of weight. They were very easy, and as soon as I started getting nauseous constantly, I was like, oh, you know, this is gonna be a girl. I'm having so many more different symptoms. And I also had headaches every day. Though both of those things kind of tapered off around probably week 13 to 14, probably 13. The nausea really cut down, and then also the headaches. I still, every once in a while, I'll get a wave of nausea, but nothing like, I'm sorry, my hair looks so crazy. I took a shower and I didn't brush it, so now it's all nasty and tangly. But anyways, I also was having some neck pain. I don't know what that really had to do with, but I did have a little bit of neck pain that's kind of gone away. And I did have some depression. I'm calling it postpartum depression because that to me, I guess, I don't know, is what people relate to pregnancy and depression, even though it's not postpartum. I was having some really bad depression where I was just sad, and I was unmotivated. I was just laying on the couch and watching TV. Like, I didn't want to clean. I didn't want to do laundry. Like, I didn't want to do anything. Like, I was doing like very basic, like the minimal stuff I had to, like, I could do and get away with, like. And it was very frustrating for me because I'm just not one of those people that is sad. Like, I wouldn't even call it sad. It was just like I had no energy. I was just had no interest in anything. And that had been difficult for me. The last 2 weeks have been so much better. Like, that's the reason I have so much laundry around, because I'm like catching up on everything. I had piles and piles of laundry. I know it's so embarrassing. And then it's embarrassing that we had enough clothes to be able to have that much dirty laundry and still have things to wear. That's really sad in itself. But yeah, I mean, this is real life. So I'm just being honest with you guys, but it's starting to taper down so much. I still have some days where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything, so kind of like just sit there and sit on the couch. And I'm like, no, I gotta get up and do something. But those days are so much less. I had a little bit of anxiety too, which I never experienced this with my first 2 pregnancies. And I don't know if the anxiety and the depression had to do with my miscarriage and it being so soon after the miscarriage, and it was just residual hormones and feelings and stuff like that. But yeah, all that stuff's kind of gone away. What else is there? That's all my symptoms. I do have one symptom that I'm going to mention because I do have a doctor's appointment next week and I'm going to ask her about it, so I'll just mention it here. I have a sore spot right here on my left breast. I noticed it yesterday. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was putting on a bra or something and I rubbed, but it almost feels like when you have a like ingrown pimple and it's so sore to the touch. What, baby? It's my milk. You can drink it. We'll put it on the table for me, please. Ew, baby, what did you do? What did you pour in there? Gosh. Baby, you're spilling it on the floor. What did you put in there? That's nasty. Gross. What is this? That was my milk, and they've poured something else inside of it. Hold on. Okay, it was tea, I guess. It's gross. Boys. That's all I can say. But anyways, I'll clean that up in just a second. Another thing, my allergies. I just sniffled, so it reminded me. My allergies have been crazy, and I don't know if it's just the extra blood vessels in there or what, but they're horrible. They have been horrible. I've been tons of mucus, nasty. Yeah. But back to the thing in my breast. It almost feels like when you have like a pimple under the skin and it's so sensitive to touch, that is what it feels like. It's right here, and I called my mother-in-law. She's a nurse, and just kind of asked her, and of course she reassured me it's probably just lumps and bumps that you get when you're pregnant, and she's like, the bad lumps typically don't hurt and they're not sore. But she's like, definitely tell your OB when you go for your appointment, and she'll either say it's nothing or she'll want to watch it or whatever. So I am going to ask about that. I'm hoping it's nothing. But yeah, that's my little update. Another boy. His due date is October the 8th. He will probably be here before that. I was 41 weeks with my oldest. Had to be induced. 26 hours of labor. They tried everything. They tried to put the pill in there to make my cervix dilate. They tried the balloon to make my cervix dilate. They had me get up and walk around. They had me on morphine because it hurt so freaking bad. And finally, like, by the time that I was finally dilating, they were like, you have to, they wouldn't give me any medication anymore. They had given me an epidural. The epidural had wore off, and they wouldn't let me do my morphine drip anymore, so it hurt so bad. It was horrible, and plus I was exhausted. And with Kipton, my second one, I had him at 39 weeks. I'd went in on the Thursday before, and I was dilated to a 1, and I asked my doctor to go ahead and, sweep my membranes. And that Saturday I'd lost my mucus plug, and Saturday rolled around about 5 o'clock in the morning. Monday morning, I had woken up in the middle of the, in the middle of the morning, and it was probably 5, and took a bath. I was having a little bit of pain, took a bath, and I called my mother-in-law and told her, and I was like, they're coming about every 10 minutes. So the hospital that I will be delivering at, where I delivered both of mine, is an hour and a half away. So before anything got too crazy, we got in the car. We were like, we might as well just go, just in case. By the time I got there, it got situated in the room. We got there probably about 7. I was progressing, and I really didn't think I was going to get an epidural because there was only one anesthesiologist on call, and he was in with somebody else. And by the time he got in, I had already labored to an 8, and it was so much easier the second time around. So much easier. He came in and he was giving me my epidural, and he was like, is she even having contractions? Like, and they're like, yeah, she's having one right now. And as he's like sticking the needle in my back, and I had already dilated to an 8, and I probably could have done it natural and still kind of wish that I would, but the fact that I went so long and then got the epidural, I didn't feel a thing. Like, I was laughing and talking to the doctor as she's like, push, and I'm like pushing and laughing and talking to her, and I didn't feel nothing, like, at all. It was the best. It was awesome. Yeah, so I'm thinking that this one will probably be a little bit early, just because my second was a little early. It'll be my third, baby, so my third delivery. So, yeah. Yeah, now that I know it's a boy, I can start looking at some clothes, and unfortunately, I had given all my newborn and little baby stuff away to a family member who had a boy about a year ago. So I don't have any of that stuff anymore, so I do need to purchase more like newborn to 1-year-old clothes. And I don't have a crib anymore. I don't have any of the little baby gadgets anymore. So I'll get to buy all that stuff. What else is new? We bought a new car. We had a 2018 Equinox, and it's just a little SUV, and now that we're having another one, we're like, should we try to fit the baby in the middle of the back seat with the other two? We're like, no, that's probably not safe, because you never know what they're sticking in there, or they might accidentally put a blanket over the baby's head or something. I don't know. Just didn't seem very safe. So we got a Chrysler Pacifica. We got a used 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, and it wasn't brand new. It wasn't anything glamorous. It had a lot of miles on it, but it's what we needed. And with 3 kids, a van just seems a lot more practical. I don't know. And my husband didn't care to drive a van. I don't care to drive a van. So yeah. And if you're wondering why I look so tan, if anybody is curious, I used the Fake Bake Flawless, the Auto Bronzonette one. Like on the box, it doesn't have any color, like a medium or dark color on it. It just says Fake Bake Flawless Auto Bronzonette or whatever. And it's a pretty nice color. I like it. And I only kept it on 4 hours. You can keep it on 4 to 6 or 8 or whatever. And I only kept it on 4. Next time I'll maybe keep it on a little longer. What else do I need to update you guys on? My hair. I think the last time I showed you my hair, it was shorter. This is where it's at now. So past my armpit, I have some weird short pieces some short pieces. Yeah, so that's it, guys. If there's any questions or anything like that you want to ask me in the comments below. Bye.